Welcome to episode 56, Traci Jeske on La Dolce Vita style. Traci Jeske is the director of En Vogue Stylist and an internationally certified personal stylist known as Italy's style icon. Blending Italian La Dolce Vita with her flair for fashion and style, Traci takes her personal life experiences living in Australia, working in Dubai, London, and abroad, overcoming an eating disorder, and her experience of over 30 years in the fashion industry to help women find their unique style, be bold, stand out in a crowd, and feel absolutely fabulous in every season of their life. In this episode, you'll discover how to ditch the notion that we should be invisible, how to buck the rules around style and why we need to, how style saved Traci from an eating disorder, the importance of stepping into your authentic style, and the real reason women over 40 feel that they shouldn't stand out and what we can do about it. But first, are you ready to feel confident in the body you have right now? Discover the top 3 style secrets behind a fabulous you in 22 to help you look put together and feel confident in your outfits without wasting money on clothes that don't fit or wasting time standing in your closet wondering what to wear. I want to share with you my free video series, Top 3 Style Tips to help you get dressed confidently in 2022. I want to help you make this your best year yet. Lesson 1 is color confidence. In this lesson, you'll discover your number 1 wardrobe color, and it's probably not black. I'll help you understand why black is not your best color, and you'll find out how to make your eyes, your hair, and your skin sparkle. Lesson number 2, your best fitting clothes. Discover how to eliminate the number 1 wardrobe mistake women make. Find out how to deal with your most challenging body parts so your clothes fit properly, and know the true cost of the clothes you buy. In lesson 3, we're going to talk about how to keep your style fresh. Find out the secret to never be bored with your clothes again. Discover what it means to reframe your wardrobe and learn how to reimagine the wardrobe of your dreams. So click the link below in the show notes and grab these secrets. I want to help you look fabulous and feel your confident best this year, because you are already beautiful and you are worth it. Grab that free video series, and I look forward to helping you feel amazing. Welcome to Style by Mary Michelle, a podcast designed to empower you through personal style. I'm your host, Mary Michelle Nidifer, a master style coach, founder of Style Finder Boutique, and creator of the Style Finder ID system. I'm here to help you know what to wear, how to wear it, and how to get dressed in 7 minutes or less. Let's go. All right, ladies, I am so excited to share with you a wonderful stylist that I have connected with online, and we're just going to chat all things style today. So welcome, Traci.
Thank you so much, Mary. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, actually, I go by Michelle.
Sorry, Lara.
Throwing that up. That's okay. It's funny.
I'm looking here and I see Mary Michelle. I was like, okay, you threw me off for a second.
I know. Well, you know what? It's funny. We were talking about names. I was at an event recently and we were talking about names, and so many women in the room, it turned out, went by their middle name. I'm like, yeah, I feel your pain. Because I go by Michelle. I've just, that's always what I've been called since birth. And I think going into, becoming a professional as a stylist, it just didn't feel right to leave the Mary off. But I tell people, don't just call me Mary.
All right.
So Traci, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me about your background and how you got into styling.
Well, I've been in the fashion industry for over 30 years. Wow, that makes me sound so old.
Well, I'm right there with you.
And I felt like a lot of us in retail when I was 17, got my first job in the Gap. I was so excited. Gap came to Canada, and, we were always so jealous of you guys in the States because on 17 magazine, Gap was everywhere. So I was like, I'm at the Gap. And I was in university at the time, and I literally hated university. I just, it was something that you had to do. It was like in the 80s, everybody went to university. And I just was like probably one of the darkest years of my life. I also got an eating disorder in that period. So I went into retail and I loved it. I could literally be on the floor all day. And I realized, even at that time, the funnest part for me was the change rooms because I would see the transformations. And I absolutely loved it. When a woman would come in, she'd be like, uncomfortable with her body shape, this, that, whatever. And we'd find the right look for her and everything. And she would walk out with this huge smile on her face. It literally lit me up. Like, I loved it. Then, I became a manager, store manager. And then in my early 20s, my father passed away. I decided to hit reset on my life, went to Australia, worked in the fashion industry there for 4 years, met my husband. And from one day to the next, I left Australia and came to Italy. And that's when, I had to really flip things around because I couldn't speak Italian. I went from one day to the next without being able to say a word. And so I couldn't work in retail, but I wanted to work in the fashion industry. And so I had, friends come to me that I made here and they were like, you know what, I love how you style. Can you help me? So my personal styling started off like many of us as a hobby. And then I thought when I got into my 40s, I realized that it became a struggle for a lot of women. And it was so easy for me just to get dressed and figure it out. But so many women going into their 40s felt like they couldn't show up how they wanted to because of their age, because of their body size, because of so many factors. They felt like they couldn't be as attractive as they were when they were in their 30s. So they started to kind of hide. And I was this woman who was just like, whoop, no, you have to be seen and be heard. So that's when I said, I need to make this a career and help not only my friends around here, but women all across the globe. So that's where I started my personal styling business.
Wow. So you've had quite a journey.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. So where did you grow up, Traci?
In Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, a very, very small town in Canada, minus 50. So the winters are very cold. And yes, so it was a small town. And that's also when you come from such a cold country, you dream of the seaside. Like we would go to Hawaii for the summer. And I always dreamt when I grew up that I wanted to go somewhere where there was the sea, the ocean, and Australia was the place to go.
Yeah. So you went from Canada to Australia to Italy.
Yes.
And then I'm sure it was a little bit of a culture shock, not just in the language barrier, but in so many other ways.
Yeah, it really was. And that's where, not being able to speak, and I'm somebody, as you can see, who loves to speak. So for me, my biggest struggle was not being able to express myself and having my husband literally having to speak for me. There was nothing worse, like not being able to say what I wanted to say. And so that's where also style really saved me because I became invisible. Nobody saw me. Nobody heard me. So I had to think of a way to be seen and be heard. And that's where I up-leveled my style even more than it was before. And people started to notice me. And so I became seen and I became heard. And people would, women would come up to me and start talking in their bad English before nobody would even try. And then they started to say, and I would speak in my terrible Italian. And somehow we made it work. So that's why I also believe, Rachel Zoe's quote, style is a way to say who you are without saying a word, is my mode. That's what I live by because it's so true. And we don't realize that, but it is.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, that is so true. And you're such a great example of that.
Yeah. You don't realize that when you show up, how you're showing up in the world by what you're wearing sends such a message to those around you.
Yes, for sure. And I like to say style is a language. It's a language. And when you show up being your authentic self and other people, it's like they see who you are and they're like, ooh, I want to get to know you. Let me come speak to you. And I love that happened to you. That's so powerful.
Yeah, it is. And so that's, also, going through those experiences as hard as they were, it was, those are times even with my eating disorder, I always wanted to keep myself hidden. There was this conflict with me inside where I wanted to be seen, but I didn't. And I always knew, even with my eating disorder, I had my eating disorder for over 20 years, that I never let myself look the part of being sick. I always made sure that before I left the house, I was dressed up. I saw myself in the mirror and I would tell myself, I'm okay. I'm okay. And literally that was also another part, because that's also part of, your style. My style literally saved me. And I know that. And so style is not frivolous or superficial like so many people think.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Traci, you and I share so many similarities. Now, I didn't necessarily struggle with an eating disorder, but I struggled with my weight. And I struggled with that negative self talk. You're not good enough. You're too fat. You're this, you're that. And also feeling like I needed to be hidden, like it was not okay to stand out. And I can tell you've got a little bit of a dramatic edge to your style. Like you want to be seen. And that was me. But there was this push pull of like, well, I feel like I want to be seen. I want to be out there, but I don't, I think that so many of the messages that are given to women are that it's not okay to be seen.
And especially as we get older, when you're in your 20s and 30s, there are certain rules when it comes to styling yourself. But when you get older, those rules become so out of control. Like, and I don't even know who makes these rules, like we're not supposed to wear skirts below, above our knees when we're in our 50s. You're not supposed to wear collar. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to go gray. There's so many rules for us as we age. And I think it's so sad because when men age, they become, handsome, they become charming, and they become interesting. Women, when they age, they're supposed to like somehow turn back the clock, but it's impossible. So it's really hard for women to accept and be authentically themselves because there's so much pressure on us.
Yes. Yeah, Traci, one thing I hear, I've talked with a lot of women, a lot of style coaches, and just a lot of women in general, and a lot of life coaches, and a lot of the themes that I hear from them are that women do feel invisible, especially even if they didn't feel that way younger in life, especially as they hit 40, 50, 60. Do you think this is why?
Yeah, I do think so. I think, there's been a study that women, when they get into their 40s, the majority of women, I don't remember how many the percentages now, really feel like they're supposed to become invisible. They should not be seen. And many of them take a step back and they hide themselves. And they go into depression and they get anxious and they have all these problems that follow them into their, as they grow older. And then, so, it's a fact that women over their 40s do start to feel like they should be invisible, that they're not worthy to be seen, and they, that they can't wear those sexy little dresses. And, our bodies change. We've, especially if we've had kids, it's normal not to fit in to your size 2 jeans after you've had kids or whatever size it was. I don't even care what size it was. Age and size are just a number, and it should never define how we dress, look, or feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's so interesting. I was 40 when I became a style coach, and I had 2 kids, and, my body had changed, and I think that it just helped me see what a lot of other women struggle with. Because not that I hadn't had any struggles, but I think after that, I felt like, well, I don't even know what to wear anymore. I don't know how to get dressed. And, before I hadn't really had that problem, but it really gave me insight into that. But why do you think so many women feel that 40 is the magic number, and then all of a sudden we need to just disappear?
I don't know. I don't know if it's because we had examples of our mothers, which were my mother is 90. So, I have a big gap. So for me, and she's very stylish. She was like on the red carpet all the time, whether it was going to the grocery store. She still is now. She's like, I think I need to do some Botox. And I'm like, Mom, okay. Like, really? So, but many of her friends, that wasn't the normal. They were kind of frumpy. They were, so I don't know if it's because we have that image, that example for us. So we kind of look at it. But now, women in their 50s today are much younger than the women that were in their 50s in my mom's generation. If I look at, maybe because I'm in my 50s now, so I think I'm much younger than what they were. But I really do believe 50 is the new 50, like 50 is the new 30. I totally believe that. I really do. And I think we are evolving. It's not as bad as it used to be, but there's still a lot of work to be done. I think women are coming together and saying no, and even in, like movie stars, celebrities. So that's also helping, like Sarah Jessica Parker right now, speaking about her going gray and the wrinkles. It's not enough wrinkles. I don't have enough gray, which is so important and so beautiful to have these women speaking for us.
Absolutely. And it's so amazing, I think, talking to you in a whole different, continent, that the struggles are the same.
Yeah.
It's like we're all the same underneath. And I think, we all struggle with the same things. So when you work with your clients, where do you start? Tell me about your process.
Okay. Usually I start in their wardrobe because I want to see what's going on. And psychologically, I can understand a lot by looking at a woman's wardrobe, because that's where we hide a lot of things. Inside a wardrobe, there can be shame. There can be, from buying too much, guilt from spending too much money, holding on to things that, were gifted to us from exes that no longer serve us, but we just can't give them up. Wardrobe crammed is like, to me, telling me that this woman thinks she's not worthy, because what's going on in her mind is she's just cramming. And that's like what it is. You need an organized wardrobe, is an organized life and an organized mind. Like, I really think it brings you peace of mind when you open your wardrobe and you see it. Oh, and you just go, wow, instead of, oh my goodness, hiding things with tags on it not to show your husband or your boyfriend. So I go into wardrobes and then I move on, because I need to see what we've got going on in there. And how she reacts, So when we start pulling out things, I can even see by her face what lights her up, what doesn't. I can tell by her body language what she's telling me, how she's moving, what excites her. And then I can kind of get an idea also about her personality. So we start from the wardrobe. And we do dirty work first.
That's a great place. I actually own a women's clothing boutique. You were talking about retail earlier. And I think one of the most powerful things for me when working with women is that moment that you mentioned when they light up. But you can see, it's so funny, because I'll be in the boutique and women will come out of the fitting room and I'm like, oh no, that's not right for you. And it's that I can tell by her energy, totally. how they're carrying themselves. And so now let's talk about, when women are wearing something, I don't know how things are there, but I feel that what I've been hearing from a lot of women is after the pandemic, a lot of women have gained weight and they've resorted to wearing their sweatpants or their yoga pants or their COVID clothes, as we call them. And you can tell when women, I talk with women and they're telling me, oh, I've gained 20 pounds, or I'm doing this. I'm just wearing I can't buy new clothes. I can't do this. It's like they're saying no to themselves. And you can see it in their energy. Tell me, what are things like there in Italy, and how are you dealing with it with your clients, and what are you seeing?
Well, a lot of my clients are outside of Italy, because in Italy, women are very much, there isn't this mentality of the personal or style coach or personal stylist, because women here do dress very well. Like, literally, you do not go out of the house in sweats. It's just a big no-no here, even if they're Victoria, I don't care what brand they are, how expensive they are. So for my clients that I see overseas, even there, depression and anxiety, we're wondering why it's going through the roof. Well, I'll tell you, a big reason a lot of women don't realize it is how they're dressing. You cannot tell me that you feel exhilarated and excited when you see yourself in PJs all day. Like, and even in sweatpants, like it doesn't help us. It doesn't help our mindset. It doesn't help us feel good. So, even this fact of being on Zoom calls and dressing up halfway, putting on something from here up, no, like, you wouldn't do that in the real world. So don't, not that this is kind of the normal now, but you would dress up. And so I think it's a message you're saying to yourself. I don't look good. I don't feel good. I'm blah, blah, blah. Look at my face, look at my skin, put on some lipstick, do your hair, take the extra time for yourself, because you are worth it.
Absolutely. 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 That's interesting that you say how you're dressing. You feel like it has some tie-in with depression and anxiety. And I completely agree. Yeah. Because I know during the pandemic, and I'm sure you did this too, but I got up every day and I got dressed, and I even put on lipstick, even though we were wearing a mask and not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I did it for me. Yeah. And when I look in the mirror, in fact, yesterday I worked from home and my hair I have really, really thick hair, and it kind of has a mind of its own. And it was doing something weird yesterday. And I went to look in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, I don't like my hair. It's just that feeling of like being disconnected.
Yeah. I think if one thing taught us in the COVID, which I was hoping that it would have been more global, but we realized we couldn't go out. So before, we used to dress up to impress everyone. No, we'd go to work. We had to dress up to impress our colleague, this and that, man, we couldn't go out. So, one of the most important things is that we had to learn to dress up to impress ourselves. And that is what it should be, no matter what's going on. Pandemic, no pandemic. First, you dress up to impress yourself, and then you dress up to impress others. Because when you dress up to impress yourselves, doors are going to open. Everything's just it's a ripple effect going throughout your day, because you're smiling, you're happy, people watch you, they see you. And, I've always make this example of when you're at an event or a party and you see the woman walk in and she's got the perfect dress. Maybe it's a designer dress, perfect body, perfect hair, everything's perfect. And you look at her and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Then the woman behind walks in and maybe she's got an H&M dress. She's a little bit overweight. Her hair's not perfect. Her body's not perfect, but everyone looks at her. Everyone's watching her. Everyone's like, wow, look at her. And what is it? It's confidence.
Yeah.
The secret to style is confidence. It's not a brand name. It's not, the price tag. It's confidence.
Amen.
Yeah. My preach for the day.
Your work is done. Oh, Traci, tell me about your own style. I can tell that you have a sense of whimsy about you with your pink hair and your fabulous glasses, and you're wearing a turtleneck, but it's vibrant purple. I don't know if those on the podcast can't see you, but just know that Traci, you can tell like she's just fun and has a sense of fun about her.
My style is definitely fun, creative, and bold. So when people look at me, that's what I want them to say. Like, I want to be approachable. I want to be fun. And I want women to understand at 52 to have pink hair, it's okay. And you know what? I mean, I love every color of hair. But for me, from the time I went pink is when I just love life even more. I mean, that may sound crazy, but I love it. I just can't go back. I mean, I'm probably destroying my hair, coloring it pink like this, but if fall falls out, I'm finding a pink wig. I cannot, like I've always said, I could lose everything, but I cannot not go to my hairdresser. I don't know. I would find a way to make sure that I can go, because for me, my hair is my accessory. It just more than a pair of expensive shoes right now, although expensive shoes are nice too. But yeah, so for sure.
What do you think that the pink represents for you? Freedom?
Could be freedom. Yeah, like even, just oh gosh, I was saying in Italian, leggerezza, being light, being fun, carefree. And I also really love Barbie. So for me, when I was growing up, I had every Barbie in the world. Barbie was my hero. And I don't know. And I sometimes think that's where this love for pink came from. In fact, when I had a little girl, oh my God, everything became pink, and there was every Barbie so I love that. So that also could
be my nails done pink yesterday.
The only time I ever do red is Christmas.
I wore red last week.
It's hard for me to wear red. Like, how they say red is a power color.
Yes.
Red for me would be the color that would.
Pink is your power color, I think.
Yeah, pink is my power color. It really is. And I was telling somebody yesterday when I was part of an academy, a style academy, and we were obliged when we were on stage to wear black. We had to wear black to be part of the academy. And I would have to speak in Italian. I literally lost all my confidence. No. Because I can't, color really does affect you. So for me to wear all black, I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel good. It wasn't me. So it was like when I would have to get up and speak in Italian in front of an audience, it was so hard for me because I wasn't me. I wasn't being authentic. And so, you never underestimate the power of a good outfit on a bad day or in a difficult situation. It empowers you so much.
Yes. Let's talk about that for a minute. Just, about stepping into yourself. When your clients come to you and not the Italian clients who have been haven't been wearing their sweatpants, but say another client comes to you and she's really lost touch of her style and her body's changed and her lifestyle's changed. How do you go about guiding her to finding herself through her style?
Well, I think it's a journey. So it's not something that happens overnight. So definitely it is like, it's working together and going through that pain, like, because there's a lot of, women suffer. And, when you're suffering about your body shape and it's coming to learning, somebody who's had an eating disorder for 20 years, understanding how to love yourself, first of all, because if you don't love yourself and you don't feel good about yourself in your own skin, you can put whatever on, but you're never going to love it. So when I start seeing clients who ask me to keep going shopping for them, I'm like, okay, let's stop. Okay, we got to figure out what's going on, what's happening inside of you. And then maybe it comes out, their husband left them for a younger woman, they their body, whatever it is. And then I have to, we start working on, okay, let's do some self-love and self-care. And let's flip your mindset. And that's where I also come into morning routines. Like, you should always have an intention when you get dressed. And if you just wake up and you've had a bad night, your husband snored all night, you're nervous, you've got that energy, you're literally going to pick something out that's going to reflect how you're feeling. So when you wake up, praise God, praise Allah, praise whoever you want for blessing you with another day. Listen to something, exercise, sing in the shower. I sing in the shower every morning to a cold shower. And then I listen to an inspirational podcast, whatever. So by the time I get into my wardrobe, I'm so at this high energy level that there's no way I'm going to choose something that is blah and not. Like, I'm going to go for something fantastic. So that's like also part of it. We got to change your mindset. We have to somehow, and that will build your self-confidence. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself 100 times, I love you, I love you, I love you. That is so important. Because when you don't have that, it's really hard to work with a woman and get her style, and have her feel good about herself.
Yes. Yes. I love that. You first have to raise your vibration. And I love it. I think clothes, I read a great quote the other day, and I can't remember it, but it was something to the effect of like, when I wake up, I'm excited to get dressed. It was about being excited and getting dressed for the day, because your clothes, I just feel like it really can help you. So you get up, you set your intention, and you say, okay, today's going to be an awesome day. And you put on that power outfit, and then you just go forward with this vibrant energy, and it just changes everything.
It really does. Doors will open up for you. What you put out there, you get back. So when you're having a really rough day, I always tell my clients when they're like, Traci, I had such a horrible day. I'm like, what are you wearing today? Because it's also affecting it, start taking pictures of you. Like, before you walk out of the house, take a selfie and look at how you're dressed. And a lot of times when you're not sure about, so I'm not perfect. There's some days when I wear something, I'm like, where did I come up with that outfit? Like, we're stylists, but we're not perfect. We're human, but you learn from it. So take risks, just go have fun. Like, fashion should be fun. Fashion and style should be fun. And I think it becomes so dramatic and so the rules, this and that. You can, you can't.
Yeah. I don't think there is a can't. So many women ask me, so many women, especially when they hit 40 and 50, well, how do I wear this? And how do I wear that? And I saw this great video on TikTok the other day, and it was, what to wear for women over 40. And the essence of it was wherever you want, wear whatever you want. Yeah. And I love that, because there are no rules. There is no rule that says you have to be hidden, or you can't wear crop tops, or you can't wear short skirts, or you have to wear a jacket, or you have to wear black.
You have to wear on khaki pants and white shirts. That's what I saw when I was turning 50. I was like, if I see another woman wearing khaki pants and white shirt, which is fine, it's wonderful, but there's so much more than that, and a blazer, so be true to yourself.
Yes. It's wonderful if that's what you love.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if it's your should, like, no.
Yeah. You'll know when you have something that doesn't suit you, and we've all been there where you see your girlfriend and she's got on something wonderful. You're like, where'd you get it? Oh, I got it at Neiman Marcus or wherever. And you go out and buy the exact same thing, and you come home and you put it on and it looks absolutely horrible on you.
Yes. Yes. Because it's not, I think that it's not about the clothing. It's about who we become in the clothing.
Yeah.
And if the clothing's not the right piece for us, but one thing that I found is that, especially owning a retail boutique, women walk in and they'll see somebody who looks amazing in something. Oh, I want that. Yeah. And I think what they're really saying is, I want to show up with that level of energy, with that level of confidence. I don't necessarily want that dress, but I want what she's got. But what she's got comes from inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's possible for all of us. Talk to me a little bit more about your style, Traci. What are some of your signature pieces?
I love sneakers. I'm very much, I think, you can put on an outfit and heels, and it's like not a no-brainer, but it kind of is. But my signature style is very much sneakers, dresses. I love dresses, and I love to be edgy, but I love to be colorful at the same time. And for me, it really depends on Like I never plan the night before. I don't know about you. I just can't plan the night before. I have to see where I'm at in that moment. And, a lot of people think I might have a lot of clothing in my wardrobe. I don't, but everything can mix and match. And I can make one, this I could probably wear 5 times and nobody will even know, like just by changing it. So, my style is fun. My style it's colorful. It's very colorful. And even in the winter when it's, blacks and grays, even if I have to wear that, I've always got pink or some color somewhere. If it's not my earrings, it's my bracelets, it's, so very much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting. I have gotten into the habit of planning my outfits the night before. And I found
do that. Yes.
Yeah, I did that when I was younger. And I think, we've got our Style Finder School of Style, and I've been taking my clients through some of our exercises. And I'm like, I think we all need to start planning our outfits. And so I've started doing that myself. And I think some days, my son's a freshman in high school. And so some mornings I'm out the door at, before 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm busy, I've got something going on, I find that it just helps me to feel so relaxed to walk in. I'm like, oh, it's already done. My accessories are planned out. I've got my lingerie. I've got my shoes. And it just gives me that peace of mind.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you can do that's amazing. And it does help you in the morning. It makes your morning so much easier. It really does. Because if you start getting into that rabbit hole where you have to try on 50 different things before you walk out the door, it is exhausting. Like you will literally walk out and you'll be so tired all day. So really, if you can do it the night before, it does help. I know if I have to wake up early and be out, probably the night before I'm already thinking, okay, what could I do? And then in the morning, if it follows suits, then I do it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
Traci, do you have any other words of wisdom you'd like to share with us? Some of maybe your best stylist secrets?
Oh, my style secret is confidence. I really do believe that. I don't care what you have on. You can have a paper sack over you or whatever they call it, a potato sack, I guess it is in America. In Canada, they say that. And you can rock it. You can make it look like anything. And also, like I said before, it's not, and I think a lot of women think you have to wear Chanel or Dior. If not, you don't have style. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. It doesn't. It's not a price tag. And yes, I do believe in sustainable fashion. You may see my videos on Instagram, and it's a lot of my 3 picks from Zara this week. I'm having fun. That's, I think, my message more than saying, go buy those looks from Zara. It's the fact, smile, have fun with your style. And, we've learned from this pandemic, dress to impress yourself.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, Traci, it has been such a pleasure to chat with you today.
I'm so grateful to this. I love this. This was awesome, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Style by Mary Michelle, where women come to get dressed in 7 minutes or less. If you enjoyed this podcast, I invite you to leave me a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you're listening. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Style by Mary Michelle and shop our boutique at shopstylefinder.com for the best in upscale casual apparel. Better yet, if you're in the Raleigh area, come see us. We're located in the North Hills Shopping Center, the premier shopping district in Midtown Raleigh. For details and links mentioned in this episode, be sure to see the show notes. Have a beautiful week.